This is a flyweight contender contest fought over three-minute rounds. Introducing firstly fighting out of the red corner, representing Pro Systems MMA, Elliott Hoye. His opponent fighting out of the blue corner, representing BKK Fighters, Leigh Mitchell!
Hey everybody, see, she is a freak of the week. What's that on that beat? Oh, that's to the party like a OG. Party jumping name is Congo. See, now the name is trying to pull the police. Fuck the feds. She is a freak of the week. Freak of the week. Freak of the week. She is a freak of the week. Freak of the week. Freak of the week. She is a freak of the week. Don't worry about it speaking of me. Now everybody, see, she is a freak of the week. You got your body speaking of me. She is a freak of the week. Freak of the week. She's a freak of the week. She is a freak of the week. Freak of the week. She's a freak of the week. She is a freak of the week. Freak of the week. She's a freak of the week. She is a freak of the week.
Flyweight action up next here at BCMMA 13. Elliott Hoye in the dark red, taking on Leigh Mitchell in the blue. Hoye representing Pro Systems MMA, an extensive amateur record of 6 wins and 4 losses. So a lot of cage time for Hoye. Mitchell 4-1 as an amateur. Both of these guys no strangers to the cage, Josh.
Yeah, Mitchell immediately looking to go to the body. Really changing his level. And you could see just disguising that shot. You don't know if it's a punch or a shot. Lovely throw.
And whipped his man to the mat there, taking the back, now back on top.
Really dynamic attempt. It could have been an armbar, could have been a back take. But he's ended up in half guard here.
Fast and furious start to the action. And an aggressive top game, typical of the Tsunami Gym.
Yeah, Hoye had the knee shield, looking for the leg now. No twisting leg locks allowed as Mitchell pops his way out.
Do beg your pardon, it's BKK Fighters that Leigh Mitchell represents. Obviously, strong ties with the Tsunami Gym in Cambridge.
All these shots, I don't think he's thrown a shot to the head yet. He appears to be going to the body constantly.
Looking for a spinning attack there was Elliott Hoye.
And he's He's so dynamic with his movement on the ground here. He's really keeping Hoye guessing. Side wedge position now, suplex.
Big suplex from Leigh Mitchell. Looks like he's enjoying himself in there.
I do like the dynamism of Mitchell's attacks, particularly on the ground. He's scurrying around.
Lots of head movement. Punches coming from interesting angles. Really likes to go to that body on the way in, Josh.
As I said, I don't think he's actually thrown a shot to the head yet. Lovely double. That penetration step connecting on the hips so sharply. Knee shield again for Elliott Hoye in defense, but he's given up that underhook. And he's going to make it very tricky indeed for him to be effective from this position, although he is starting to burrow his way underneath.
Staying nice and solid on top at the moment is Leigh Mitchell, grinding that forearm into the side of the head. Of course, no elbow attacks available to him, but doing good work with the tools he has is Leigh Mitchell.
And you can see that perhaps a little bit over-eager in a couple of those positions. Might just do him well to use the dynamism to create the angle he needs and then try and get heavy on his opponent. See if he goes back to the body again.
And he does. A neat little left hook.
It just disguises the takedown so well, and again he throws off that over-under position. I mean, it's something we used to see British MMA stalwart Robbie Olivier do, was constantly bob his head up and down, and he'd change levels so much you wouldn't actually know whether it was a punch or a takedown he was coming up with.
Now, as we mentioned earlier on, Josh, strong ties between BKK and Tsunami, so perhaps some of that lineage flowing through there. We see Jack Mason in the corner, also known for a very solid takedown game himself.
Well, along with wrestling coach Nick Albert, it's been around the game a very long time in the US, now making his home here in the UK.
And I love the support here for Leigh Mitchell. BKK not too far away from where we are tonight.
It's going to be interesting to see what Elliott Hoye does coming out for this second round, because right now he doesn't appear to have an answer. But just the general movement and explosiveness that Leigh Mitchell is bringing to the table.
And we'll see if Elliott Hoye can solve the riddle of that movement and those expertly disguised takedowns as we head into the second of three 3-minute rounds here at BCMMA 13. Brad Wharton and Josh Palmer calling the action for you this evening. Big slam from Leigh Mitchell.
He managed to free his head in the process. Stacking Hoye up against the cage here. And he's got to just get his hips out and start working at this point.
Staying very solid on top is Mitchell. The BKK man able to create space where he needs it.
Well, he's looking for the knee bar again. It's a dangerous position to put yourself in. It really does leave your head very exposed for the strikes. Sitting nice and heavy on that bottom leg now. But Hoye has the underhook. He's got the opportunities to try and stand back up here, and just allowing that right tricep to get pulled back from underneath him. Very nice control on the ground from Leigh Mitchell.
What he could really do with trying to scoot those hips back and use the cage to his advantage.
Yeah, looking
it's
to get
not
the feet
looking
on
like a submission attack's going to be available to him. And maybe that getting back to his feet is his best bet, Josh, and certainly trying his best to do that now.
You can just see every time he looks to post, Leigh Mitchell takes his left arm, he grabs behind the elbow or the wrist, as we saw a moment ago, and he strips that post away and plants Hoye's right shoulder back on the mat. And it's those kind of subtle moments in this control position that make it very hard for Elliott Hoye to stand back up. He did have his feet in an active guard position a few moments ago, but looking for the neck now without any form of guard, that's going to be very hard to pull off.
And Mitchell content to just grind away, looking to pass that guard. In the half guard now.
Chewing up a lot of time on the clock, I imagine, as well. It may not be doing much damage, but it is scoring a huge amount of points here.
And credit to Hoye, he used the cage well there to walk himself out of that position. He's back to his feet, but it's going to be another big suplex from Leigh Mitchell. And the crowd responding to that high velocity slam.
Yeah, really didn't want to give up that body lock, and he's still got it here. He's got plenty of opportunity to take the back, but I think he just wants to let him stand up and get thrown again.
A terrible position for Hoye to be in. He needs to get back to his feet, but doing so would seen him take a trip skywards. End of the second round, Josh, and that's 2 clear frames on the board for Leigh Mitchell. And what does Elliott Hoye need to do to get back in this fight?
It's a tough one for him, it really is. He's on the receiving end of a relentless onslaught from Leigh Mitchell. I mean, look, he's got to make him think twice about shooting. First and foremost, he's got to keep the fight standing and make him think twice about shooting. How's he going to do that? Well, he's got to establish his range, he's got to get his jab out there, and he's really got to threaten with those knees and kicks straight up the middle, okay? That low stance, constant change of level from Leigh Mitchell. You know, it's great until you meet a knee straight down the pipe, but, you know, we saw it briefly from Elliott Hoye, but as soon as he did, Leigh Mitchell popped in on that single leg, grabbed hold of it, and took him very unceremoniously down to the ground. So, you know, it's far easier said than done, and it is going to be an uphill struggle for him in this one.
Well, we have seen comebacks affected here so far this evening at BCMMA 13. It would be an incredible story if Elliott Hoye could pull one out of the bag here. Stranger things have happened in this wonderful sport.
Yeah, I mean, he's still very much in this one. You know, he hasn't taken much damage. You see, he feinted the knee and just didn't get it back quick enough, and immediately Mitchell's in again on the single. Good inside trip.
And Leigh Mitchell did not need asking twice to scoop his man to the mat with that knee.
Yeah, this is better from Hoye, though. He's looking to get back to his feet straight away, and almost looked as though he was trying to jump to a Kimura, but again, without control of that body, it's not going to happen for him. Oh, he has he locked up the figure 4 grip here, though? Well, if he can sneak that knee back inside.
He's certainly going for it here, Josh. Looking to put the crank on the arm on the far side. Tough to see if he's got it properly locked in. I suspect at this stage he may struggle with it, with Leigh taking that top position, putting all his weight down.
Well, I mean, look, he doesn't have control of the body, so it's hard to lever it out because his hips are on the wrong side as well. So it's going to be very tough to really free it. He can't connect his hand to his hips to help use the extra leverage there. And of course, he can't use it to try and escape and roll his opponent because the cage is in the way. So, you know, perhaps not the best option for him to hold on to right now.
Anyone would think you knew what you were talking about there, Josh. Expert analysis, as ever, from Josh Palmer, my broadcast partner here this evening in Colchester. Fantastic night of fights so far at BCMMA 13, and plenty more to come. Some fantastic European talent on display later this evening.
Oh, well, is Hoye going to get on top for the first time here? He does indeed. Side control for the young man from Pro Systems. And immediately you see the explosive hip movement from Leigh Mitchell. Great defensive work.
Nice right hand from Hoye. Wasting no time, landing a few big shots here.
Oh, leg reap though, and that just allows him enough space to pop back up. That ability to stand up without having to post your legs or your hands out to the side, to really withdraw your feet underneath you and generate power as you come up, is a great asset that a lot of shorter fighters have, and Leigh Mitchell putting it to good use there.
Well, you have to give credit to Elliott Hoye. He's not capitulated in the least here.
No, but you do feel like that was perhaps his one opportunity to try and assert some pressure on this round. He landed a couple of very good strikes from the top.
Trying to snake those legs up, perhaps looking for a last gasp armbar here is Elliott Hoye.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough. Oh, and he's got it.
He's got the arm.
Well,
this could be
Mitchell
over.
Tapped.
This could be absolutely incredible. Cranking the arm. Leigh Mitchell defending here.
Wow.
Unbelievable finish.
Woo. I thought for a second that Leigh Mitchell had reached down and tapped, but what a fantastic way to stick in there, and you've got to give credit to Elliott Hoye for not giving up till the last second.
I mean, talk about snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. That would have been incredible. Fantastic sportsmanship there from Elliott Hoye. And Josh, what's really amazing to me about this fight is that both these young men just 18 years old and such incredible fundamentals on display from both these young fighters. The future looking bright for both Elliott Hoye and Leigh Mitchell. But tonight is the BKK man's night. 5-1 and a big win for Leigh Mitchell here at BCMMA 13.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, despite a spectacular submission attempt to close the moment of that round, your winner via unanimous decision, Leigh Mitchell!